Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, of course, welcome back. My name is Naya, as you guys know, and today's video is going to be a story time. So this is going to be about why I stopped lending people money. Well, not necessarily like I stopped lending people money, but like I stopped like always jumping to save people or to like help out every single time, right? Like before I help, I will really check if you can get help from elsewhere, and maybe if I'm kind of like maybe your last hope, then of course I'll help. So this is a story time that kind of like led to me like putting myself first and like taking care of myself first before I took care of other people. So what happened before I came to the States, I was always around like 2013 2014, like I was always on Ireland. So Ireland was always like my go-to for like study abroad, for like getting information for how to do things abroad, getting information on how to like do your visa. Like me, when I was doing my own study abroad stuff, I did not use any agents, guys. Like I did not use any agents. I was a teenager. I did every single thing by myself, no agents. I looked up every single information by myself. So Ireland was kind of like the place that I used to go to all the time. And if you're not Nigerian and you don't know what Ireland is, it's kind of like this site that is like a Nigerian site. I don't know how to explain this. I'm just gonna like insert the link somewhere so you guys can go and see what Ireland is. But like it's a very informative place, right? After I traveled to the US, after I came to the US, I stopped. Like I was no longer in Ireland as I used to be, because by the time you travel, you come to the US, you realize that you're not as free as you used to be in Nigeria. Plus in Nigeria then, I was in high school, like I never worried about where food would come. I never worried about paying any bills, because of course my parents covered everything. But by the time I came to the US, I became like an adult automatically, right? Even my visa transcript, I posted it on Ireland because the people that had posted theirs helped me during my own visa interview, right? So of course I wanted to give back to the community. After I traveled to the US, I then started helping people with like study abroad stuff, right? I didn't really have a platform. So even before I opened this YouTube channel, like literally I opened this channel November last year, and I started becoming active. Like if you check my active videos, when I started becoming active, it was in April this year, right? So I've only been doing this for like 2 months, like officially 2 months, right? Even before I opened this YouTube channel, I used to like help people. Like people will still reach out to me. I had a lot of people that would like send me emails and be like, hey, I need your help with this. Hey, can you tell me more about Berea College? Hey, all of those things. So it was actually later on that I was like, okay, you have so many people that are reaching out to you like this, why not like create like a YouTube channel and Instagram, things like that. So which was why I kind of like opened this up and kind of like started building this brand, because I wanted to help out people. As people were reaching out, there was this particular girl, let's call her Rita. This girl was actually the person that really changed my mind about like helping people, like about like jumping in and saying, oh, I'm gonna help you, oh, I'm gonna do this, oh, I'm gonna do that, right? So Rita reached out to me from Ireland, right? The first time she reached out, she was like, oh yeah, I'm reaching out from Ireland. This person gave me your, like somebody had connected her to me, right? So I was like, okay, cool, like yeah, what you need help with? So she wanted more information on Berea College. Like she wanted to know, she wanted my personal statement. She wanted so many things, right? So I was kind of like trying to help her. She would ask me questions, like so many questions. And you guys know, like if we're being honest, right, when someone takes out their time to help you, like I wasn't charging anything. This is just me doing everything free of charge, of my own goodwill, because again, like I said, when I was coming, I didn't really have that much information. I had to like figure everything out by myself. I didn't have anyone guiding me. So to me, it's like if I can help someone else, then that's good, right? So this girl, she would ask questions, like she would call me. I'll be in class, she would call me. And you guys know, if you've watched some of my videos, you know that Berea College is like, it's very hectic. Like Berea, when I was in Berea, I was a double major, I was a minor, and I was working 2 jobs, right? So it's like I had so many things that I was doing. So when I was actually taking out my time to help, it's like this is my own way of giving back, right? And then she asks me for money, right? And she tells me that she's from a polygamous family. I think she said her dad has 3 wives. Her mom, like her dad doesn't take care of her mom, and I think she said she was the only child of her mother. I'm not very sure, but I think so. I think that was the story. So she's like, oh, that she's kind of like trying to hustle. The thing is, I'm not gonna lie, she was actually hustling, right? She was actually, trying to like leave Nigeria, trying to make a better life for herself. She was doing, like, she was doing so many different things at the same time. Like, she was actually hustling. I'll give that to her. So when I saw, like, her spirit, like, she was very determined, I was like, yeah, I gotta find a way to help this girl out. So she was asking money to, I'm not sure if it's to register for SAT. Guys, this happened like years ago, right? So I've forgotten some of the details, right? I can't remember if she was asking me for money for her SAT or for her international passport. I think it was her SAT, but yeah, she said she needed more money to complete for it, right? And she needed 30,000 naira, right? So I was like, okay. Now, I was in Berea at that time. This didn't happen when I was working. Like, this didn't happen now that I'm, doing like my full-time position and everything. That now that money is kind of like coming in and, you're kind of seeing some kind of money. This happened when I was a college student, right? So even though like I had scholarship, I still had like room and board and other stuff to pay. I was doing everything here by myself, right? So I was, working all of this job. So now another thing to understand is in Berea College then, we were getting paid $4 an hour. Okay, so we're not even getting paid up to minimum wage. We're getting paid half of minimum wage, and they'll still take tax on top of that. So in a month I was making only $250, roughly, depending, like, after taxes and everything. I was making only $250 in a month, right? During the school period, like during the school time. The time when you actually make money was during the summer. So during the summer, that's when you guys can make like a lot of money. That's when all the money I saved, when I told you guys that I made a lot of money, all the money was from working overtime during the summer, like taking on 2 jobs and everything, right? This girl tells me that she needs money, right? So I'm looking at my bank accounts. The money, I mean, it wasn't even that, but it was 30K, right? But you guys know, with the situation in Nigeria and everything, 30,000 naira is a lot of money for a lot of people, right? So I'm looking at my bank accounts. I'm like, oh my God, like, if I give this girl this money, how is it going to affect me? I know that, like, I would still be able to recover the money when I give it to her, but it's just that I would, have to deny myself some things here. So I was like, okay. And I told her, sure, I'll send you the money. And I told her, okay, girl, look, I have helped you with my time. I have helped you with, my efforts. I have helped you with the information I had, when you needed stuff from Google, when you needed like my personal statement, when you needed all of these things. I have helped you, but you see this money? Girl, I'm a student, so please, I know that you're not going to be able to send it back to me in dollars, but it's fine. Just send it, like, whenever you have the money back, just send it. I'll send you an account number back home in Nigeria, and you send it there. And she said, yeah. She was like, yeah, I'm gonna pay you back, all of that. So I said, yeah, sure. And she said she was gonna pay back so she said in 3 months, I believe, right after she sorted herself out, was able to sell some things. Because again, like I said, this girl was a hustler. So I'm actually gonna give her that. She really hustled for her money. So after I sent her the money and everything, all communications cut. Like, she was not, because this, we're communicating on WhatsApp, right? She wasn't replying messages on WhatsApp anymore. I wasn't seeing her on WhatsApp anymore. I would message her, there will be no reply. I'm like, okay. So I was like, okay, that's my loss. I left it, I let it go. And then I think it was like 3 years later, she reached out to me, and she reached out to me via email, right? And she was like, hi, Nenye, how far? It's been so long. It's Rita, right? And in my head, I was like, wait, what? I mean, I was like, girl, I thought the mafia had gotten you or something. Like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, you just disappeared. So she was like, oh, please, can you give me your WhatsApp number? I lost it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool, sure. Because she reached out via email, right? So I sent her my WhatsApp number. She messaged me on WhatsApp, and we got talking, right? So she reached back and she said, like, she had like this whole story where, so she had gone to her visa interview, right? They had actually given her visa, but then I think they required like some verification, like some bank verification. Like, they asked for extra information, like, that they can either deny you, approve your visa, or they say they need more information. So I was like, okay, what's going on? So apparently, if memory serves me right, what had happened was this girl got someone else's So you know how like when you go for like a visa interview, right, they ask you for like your proof of funds, right? So during my own time I had to use my brother's proof, like my brother's bank account for proof of funds, right? They ask you for your proof of funds and you know, to show that you're able to take care of yourself when you come to the US and you're not going to be a burden to the US government, right? So this girl, what happened was she had taken someone else's proof of funds. She said that this guy, so she, remember the guy I told you at the very beginning that kind of like connected her to me, like she reached out to the guy and then I think the guy gave her my number or something, like when we first met at the very beginning. So she said that she had begged the guy for like a proof of fund, for like a bank document or whatever that shows adequate proof of funds, and that the proof of funds that the guy had given her was someone else's. Like it was another man's, I don't know if you guys are following, like it was another man's bank account, right? So she said she had to go to the bank, right, to get the number. She needed a number to verify some information on like her visa stuff. So that bank account that she had used as proof of funds, she needed like some more information from it. But that bank account wasn't from anyone that was related to her, right? And the person that had given her the bank details, let's call him Fred, right? So she kept calling Fred because remember she needed like more information, like from the proof of funds from that document, right? Like she needed to reach out to the person that owns that document, right? So she called Fred. Fred called her, or Fred wasn't picking her calls and everything. Now this is the story that she told me, because remember, I don't know, like this is not my story, like this is apparently what happened to her, right? Which is why, you know, she said she couldn't reach out to me. So she called Fred didn't pick her calls. Then she the bank, like the address that was on that proof of funds, right, that was on that statement, she started tracing the address, right? Now this girl, Rita lives in Lagos, right? But then the address was in Ibadan, right, in Nigeria. So that's in Oyo State, yes. So she then had to go there, like she literally went from Lagos, where she lived, to a different state in Ibadan to look for that address, and the address was a church, right? So she then asked, you know, like the people in the church and everything, where that particular person was. Like, guys, I actually had to go back to listen to the voice notes and everything that she sent me before to make sure I'm telling the story, because the story has so much twists and turns. But anyway, so she got to the church, and then so the church people refused to give her the details of the man that she was looking for. But then I don't know how she said she found the brother to the man, and then, you know, she was kind of trying to explain what had happened and everything. The man then got involved, right? And then the man said that he was going to help her. Like the man was like, oh, just tell me the truth. How did you get, like, you know, my details? How did you, like, where did you get my bank statement from? All of those things. And, you know, the man was like, don't worry, if you tell me, I'm gonna help you and everything. Because remember, she needed like some details from him to be able to like complete her visa process. Honestly, the story is like, it's very weird, but again, like I said, that's what she told me. That's not like my own story, right? Then tells the man like everything and gives him all of the details that he needed and everything. And this man then calls the cops on her. The man calls the police on her. And then after calling the police, the man like had to call a lawyer. And guys, it was a mess from what she told me, right? It was like a whole mess, and there was like a whole lot of back and forth. The man said like he had spent a lot of money on the lawyers. The man said like they were using his documents without, you know, his approval, which was true, because she didn't even know who the man was, if you guys remember, right? So after everything, after the whole back and forth, from what she told me, she was able to, I think, successfully pay off the man and everything, and she was okay. So by the time she had then reached back out to me, because remember, like I said, she had ghosted me for like 3 years. Like she had ghosted me for a long time. So by the time she had then reached out back to me, she was okay, right? So I think because at that time I didn't even remember, like I know like I had given her some money, right? But I wasn't even asking for it, because by God's grace then I was more than okay. Like I was no longer making $4 an hour, so it wasn't like it was a do or die affair. Like it was just kind of like reconnecting with this person that I had helped in the past, right? So she then reconnected with me, and then the first message that she sent me was, oh hey, and then she was like, now about your money, right? So it was kind of like, I think maybe she had been feeling guilty or whatever about the money, because I didn't even ask about it. I just asked her, I was like, oh my god, where are you, how have you been, like it's been forever, right? So when she then she was now like, oh, about your money, right? So she's now like, oh, let me send you the money, like send me a bank detail, let me send you the money. In my head I was like, okay, I mean, if you got the money, sure. I'm not like asking for it, but if you got it, sure. I sent her my mom's bank account back home, right? I sent her my mom's bank account and she sent half of the money there, and then she was like, I think she said she was gonna send the rest in 3 days. And I said, okay, sure, like I don't mind. I just told my mom, hey mom, expect this amount of money coming into your account. And my mom said, okay, right? And when she sent half of the money, I then told my mom, oh, don't worry, the rest is gonna come in the next 3 days, right? I reached out, I was like, hey, just reaching out, about the money. She ignored me. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I reached out again after, I think it was like a week, maybe like 5 days or so, maybe a week. And then she ignored me again. And like I think I reached out like 3 times or 2 times, I'm not very sure. And she had ignored all my messages. And at this point I was like, that kind of like rubbed me off the wrong way, because the thing is, again, I was on my own. Remember, she reached out to me like 4 years later. I was on my own and everything, maybe 4 or 3 years later. Again, like I said, this happened a long time ago, so I don't remember everything quite clearly, but I was on my own and you had reached out to me. I didn't even ask the money. I didn't even ask for the money. You were the one that was like, oh hey, about your money, right? So it's like, okay, if you don't have the money at this point, just let me know. Like the only thing you just have to do is tell me, hey, I don't really have it right now, right? So after I had messaged her for some time and she was ignoring me, and now when I say ignoring, I mean she was actually ignoring, because you know on WhatsApp you see like when someone sees your status, right? So I was posting stuff, you would see that she saw it. I would send the message, like she would leave me on red, right? I don't really mind you saying you don't have the money, or you say you can't pay back. Like honestly, at this point I didn't even care about the money anymore. It was just the whole disrespect. It was like, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, after I reached out a couple of times and she ignored me, I saw she was reading my status. I saw like she was, at this point I was just like, yeah, I cannot deal with this anymore. I just archived her, because usually what I do on my WhatsApp is, if I'm like done with you, I just archive you, right? Like I'm not gonna see your messages again. You can send messages, I'm not gonna see it. That's just it. So I archived her. And then so what then happened was this year, like sometime, I think it was like a month ago, I didn't post on my WhatsApp. Like I left my WhatsApp for some time. I think it was like a year. I think I left WhatsApp like last year around like March or February. So I didn't post anything. And then this year I kind of like came back. And then in March I posted, I don't know if it was March or April, I think April actually, I posted a picture. Like I posted a picture, I was like, oh hi guys, like kind of back kind of thing, right? So I saw that she was one of the people that like watch my status. And guys, I had forgotten her, like I had forgotten everything about her. But when I saw that, all the anger, everything just kind of like started coming back, and I'm like, this girl is still on my contact list. So I blocked her anyway, because at this point I was just like, I'm done. But anyway, why am I telling this story? I don't know guys. I don't know guys. The only reason why I was telling this story is because I was on Twitter today and I saw this tweet, and it was like, don't lend people money, they won't pay back. And I was like, preach. And I saw people that were replying to the tweet and they were like, oh, they lend this person money, this person didn't pay back, they lend this person money, this person blocked them. And I'm just like, why do people do this? Like, why do people do this? If you don't have it, just say you don't have it at that point. Like, just tell the person, hey, I'm really sorry, I know I said I was gonna pay back on this day, but I am really broke, this and this happened, and and at that point it's like, at least you've communicated. But ghosting the person, blocking someone that lent you money, because I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, what if, God forbid, I was like still in the trenches when I was getting paid $4 an hour? What if like this was my last card that I had sent to her? At the point when I sent her that money, it wasn't my last card per se, but like I would have to deny myself some things. I had to deny myself some things to be able to send that money to her, right? It's like, why are people so like ungrateful? But anyway, that's kind of like why after that happened, you know, I kind of like, because me, each time like when someone says, oh, I need this, I just like jumping up, be like, oh yeah, I can help out with this, I can help out with that, you know. But after that, I was just like, if someone needs something, I'm just like, my thoughts and prayers with you. Like, I hope you enjoyed the story time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you guys in another video.